Dave, Sinn Féin didn't seek this election, but it is necessary because of DUP arrogance, contempt and serious allegations of corruption surrounding their RHI scandal. Martin McGuinness was the only person who could call time on all of that, and he stepped Arlene Foster aside. He did so because it was the right thing to do. The public have a right to demand integrity in their government, to see all citizens treated with equality and respect, to see agreements and commitments implemented. Sinn Féin want to deliver in the Assembly, deliver more jobs, deliver a reformed health service, and an Assembly that builds bridges in our divided society. Which ag dul hun hussy. We are moving forward. That is what Sinn Féin is going into this election and subsequent negotiation to achieve. That is what I'm asking the public to endorse when they go to the polls on March the 2nd. Well, we're in this position because of an RHI scandal that was signed, sealed and delivered by the DUP. DUP that withheld information deliberately from their partners in government and indeed from all the other parties. So really why we're in this scenario is not of our making. It is absolutely because of the arrogance, the contempt, the approach of the DUP in relation to what was an absolutely flawed scheme that's going to see potentially £500 million being lost out of the public purse. That's not acceptable. I don't think anybody in their right mind in any part of the world would tolerate being in a government with people who actually carried out that action.
Okay,
but I think it's nonsense for Colin to talk about it'll be all rosy in the garden between the UUP and the SDLP. You can't even agree if you want to have a pact or not. The UUP are imploding in relation to the transfer negotiations, which you're already clearly involved with.
Nobody's talked about a pact.
Let's not make fake promises to the public.
Michelle O'Neill, what prospect is there of the institutions getting back up and running anytime soon?
I think there's every prospect, Mark. I think particularly if people approach the post-election, because obviously it's up to the people to have their say, and then who they return. It's up to us all to go into the post-election negotiation to have a full and frank conversation about how we're going to go forward. But we need to do that, and I will approach, and our party will approach these negotiations with a good heart, with wanting to find a way forward, because we do believe in the institutions. No one has worked harder than Martin McGuinness to make the institutions work, to deliver for citizens. I've just embarked as Health Minister on and grasped the nettle on the transformation of the health service. These are the things that the public want to see us talking about, and that's the issues that I want to be involved with.
Okay.
But you can only be in government with partners that are wedded to equality, respect and have full integrity and command public confidence. We can go into government, surely, but I said clearly last week that I couldn't go into government or support Arlene Foster in the position of First or Deputy First Minister whilst the investigation is ongoing. The public need answers, and they deserve the answers, and that's what the investigation is about. It was Sinn Féin who brought about the public inquiry. And I listened earlier to Arlene talk about how they've stopped the flow of money. It hasn't. There's been a mechanism put on the table that will stop the flow of money for one day, but there's £85,000 going out the door every day, gone up in smoke, and that money could be used in the health service. The opposition could stand in the corner, stamp their feet, shout from the sidelines, do all of that. Rhetoric. You couldn't do anything. Martin McGuinness dealt with it. I don't believe it's for me to say who will lead the DUP, but it's absolutely within Sinn Féin's gift to decide who we go into government with. And I've said that whilst the investigation is ongoing, we will not go into government with Arlene Foster. It can't be more clear. Being a government requires leadership, it requires good governance, and it requires doing the right thing by the public. It requires governing on the basis of equality, and it also involves taking tough decisions. Whenever it came to taking tough decisions, these people, the two men on each side of me, have run away into the corner and stomped their feet. Brexit is absolutely catastrophic for the island of Ireland, for the all-island economy. It's going to undermine the Good Friday Agreement and the principles that undermine all of that. So it is catastrophic. It is a serious issue. It is going to be the major conversation for the next number of years.
What are you going to do about it then?
I believe, and I've made my case very clear, and I went on a diplomatic offensive in Europe, talking to all the European leaders, because I listened to the British government. They're not going to dictate their terms of negotiation about what happens post-Brexit. So I think it's laughable to listen to them to say that they're going to demand X, Y, Z. They can't. So we need to talk to the other leaders out in Europe about our special status here. But also I think we need very clearly the Irish government to step up to the plate, because they need to act in the national interest. The majority of people on this part of the island voted to remain within Europe, and we know that's the right thing that needs to happen. Arlene, did your party receive a payment to advertise pro-Brexit stance right across England?
Yeah, how much did you donate?
The British government don't care about the will of the people in the north of Ireland. We are collateral damage. They have absolutely no interest. This is about England. This is about the south of England even more so. And when Mike talks about his wonderful paper, the British government weren't even given the executive a place at the negotiating table. But again, it's probably irrelevant, because they're not going to dictate the pace. They're not going to dictate their terms. It'll be the rest of Europe. So I'm on a diplomatic offensive right across Europe to talk to all the leaders that actually are going to have a say, because I'm actually about doing something practical about it. Well, the public are very aware what this election is about, and it's about the RHI scandal. I want to lead our party into government make sure we share power with people who are wedded to the principles of the Good Friday Agreement. We need to bring society into the new modern era. We need to stop denying people their rights and entitlements. That's the society that people want us, that's the conversation they want us to have in government. Government's about leadership. Our party will continue to show the leadership. We're proud of our track record in government. We want to do an awful lot more. On March the 2nd, people have an opportunity to stand very firmly on the ground of equality, respect and integrity.
OK, Michelle O'Neill, thank you very much indeed.